Thank you, John. Welcome to Melbourne's magnificent Telstra Dome for this eagerly awaited clash in Rugby League World Cup 2008. You know, a test between Australia and England always is significant regardless of what is at stake. But this is a repeat of the 1995 World Cup final, and many good judges expect to see a repeat in Brisbane in 3 weeks' time. England are determined, Australia are defiant, and in that man, Darren Lockyer, they have the star turn, the star of the show. But with people like Joel Monaghan and Brent Tate all over the park, there is a threat to England's ambition to finish top of the group in Pool 1. The winner here will be favoured to do that. And the significance of that, and it won't be lost on these England supporters either, is that they will face the qualifiers from Pools 2 and 3 in the semi-final match in 2 weeks' time. Adrian Morley just behind Martin Gleeson there. He's been thrown in from the start. And the Australians have been talking all week about this being a physical battle. Well, that physical battle is about to get underway right after we have the national anthems of these two proud nations. First of all, the English national anthem sung by Amy Pearson. Supporters sounding in good voice. Now the Australian national anthem will be sung by Patrice Tipoki.
For the national anthem of Australia. From the musical production Wicked, please welcome Patrice Tipoki.
Just about ready to go. The Australians aiming in 2008 for a 7th consecutive World Cup triumph. Many of the Sydney papers have been saying this week that Australia's name should be engraved on that trophy now. Well, we will see, because Gareth Ellis and the England boys, Steve-O, are determined that in 2008 that ain't going to happen.
We mentioned the fact that there was very little aggression against the Papua New Guineans, but tonight we will see plenty of that. They know that he is a danger man, Darren Lockyer, such a superb player, but Paul Wellens has got the experience, and that man that just came into your picture, Adrian Morley, not surprisingly that Tony Smith will start with Adrian Morley. This will be explosive in the opening 10-15 minutes. Very explosive indeed, Eddie.
Australian referee Tony Archer, he's the man in control. Ashley Klein of the Super League is in the video box. Darren Lockyer gets us underway, and Roby picks the ball out of the sky, and James Graham takes the first tackle of this World Cup pool match. Just a word, the roof here at the Telstra Dome is closed. It has been teeming with rain for about an hour or so, but the pitch is absolutely perfect because the roof is closed. It's a little bit like the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, but I've been told by the ground staff here that the roof is 38 metres high, so there isn't too much danger that a high bomb from Lockyer or from Burrow or somebody will actually hit that roof. Let's hope not anyway. This is Morley, who will play the ball to Roby. There is Leon Price, the kick downfield, straight into the arms of Billy Slater. That's not the best kick from Price, but what a hit!
Kevin Sinfield and Peacock come to daddy, the fullback Billy Slater. It wasn't the best kick. We've got to make sure that we turn the fullback Slater around. But that sort of tackling, that's what we need throughout for the full 80 minutes.
Magnificent tackle from Kevin Sinfield. Australia up to the third tackle. Slater obviously felt that. But here come the green and gold in the shape of Petros Civoniceva, getting them just before the halfway line, and a first penalty. Get out. And Tony Archer wants a quick play of the ball.
Well, that is amazing, isn't it? The referee, all throughout this tournament, they've allowed a little bit of flexibility when it comes to holding the man down, and I can't really feel as though maybe the Australian had a hold of Ellis's shirt. Either way,
you can't climb over the top of them though. That's why he was penalised. He'd lost that collision there, and here Australia come back down the short side
with Slater. And Slater is tackled, but look where they are. They're 9-10 metres away. Important tackle up by Calderwood. That was Tate. This now is Stephen Price, and Price is halted by 3, and then a fourth joins in. Big threat here to the England line early, and Graham gets out of that line defensively and hauls down Cameron Smith.
There'll be a link now to Lockyer, surely.
There is Prince, here is Lockyer. Back it goes then to Inglis, and good work from Grady Gardner, and England swarming around Inglis. They know the danger that this three-quarter line poses. That's the fourth tackle. Monaghan the dummy half. Here is Lockyer again. Gallen on the charge, almost running straight over the top of Roby. Reinforcements there behind him. Now it's Smith who gets the ball away. High kick to the corner. This is danger, and Calderwood has lost it. And England ground the ball in the in-goal area. I think it's a goal line dropout. And that's the danger for England when the ball goes high, particularly against Mark Calderwood, who's a little shaky upstairs.
Well, they all realise he's not the best at defusing the bomb, and you can see there that the problems are going to be coming high and mighty. Falau went out on the inside. You can see Brent Tate put the pressure on. Good job that Paul Wellens was alert.
Wellens the man to the rescue. Here come Australia again with Petros Civoniceva. Not the best start this for England. On the back foot. Here now is Stephen Price taking on Morley, Sinfield and Leon Price. And Sinfield gets to his feet just the right time. Plays the ball to Cameron Smith. Good strong run again. Good defence needed by England. That was Gallen. He plays the ball there to Cameron Smith. There is Prince. Here is Lockyer. Ball on the inside. Ball goes to ground, and fortunately for Australia it falls to Lockyer. And he is tackled. That's tackle number 4.
Fancy
the England
work.
line is standing firm.
Fancy work by the Australians. They did 2 dummy angles.
Prince again. He hasn't played since September the 7th. Gobbled up by Leon Price. Last tackle here for the Aussies. Smith dabs the ball to the in-goal area. Slater with the first try. And Paul Wellens furious there. And Billy Slater comes up with the first try of this match against England. He got a try last week against New Zealand. He saved a try with the sliding tackle on Jerome Rapati, you might remember. He was warned again about that this week. But Billy Slater, not only great in defence, fantastic in attack.
Great work by the scrum half. Went on the short blind side. You could see England were expecting the kick into the corner. Darren Lockyer was screaming for the ball out wide. Wellens is absolutely furious that it was not picked up on that short side. Slater in for the early try, and it all came about by that silly mistake, the silly penalty by the second rower Gareth Ellis. At this high standard of international rugby league, The opportunities don't come all that often, and you've got to take advantage, and this man, Slater, has certainly done that.
Well, the principles of this game are get to your opponent's try line, stay there as long as you possibly can, and then score points. Australia scored that, basically the third consecutive set of possession. We had the errors, the goal line drop rate you see there, and all of a sudden Australia have exploited and looked very, very dangerous. Not a great start, not a very confident looking start defensively either from England.
Scott Prince then, last played in the Test match in 2005 in the Tri-Nations, but he slots that conversion over. The worst possible start for England, 6-0. There's the bench for Australia, there's Ricky Stewart in the centre of your screen, the coach. He'll be delighted with this.
Neat chip through, he knew exactly where he was going, was the fullback Billy Slater, took full advantage of it. You could see there that Gleeson and Wellens, and it excited Ricky Stewart. Ricky Stewart has made no secret of the fact that he was going to throw everything at this English side in the opening 10-15 minutes. We've already seen 3 or 4 different angle runs from the Australians.
Kick-off from Kevin Sinfield. One thing I think we ought to say, we reckon it's around about 15 consecutive tackles England had to weather then before Billy Slater got over the line. So the pressure here early has been enormous from Australia. They lead here by 6 points to 0. Look at the possession statistic. 78% ball in hand for Australia.
It's important now that we get our defensive pattern sorted out, but not only that, get right into the faces. We've got to make them realise that this is going to be a tough contest.
Sivanasiva hands the ball on. This is Gallen, and 3 in the tackle there for England. Tony Smith's 100% international coaching record, well and truly on the line here. 4 wins with Great Britain, 3 with England. This, though, is first ever meeting against the country of his birth.
Looking to get away with that. Peacock went in very late on that. Tony Archer, the official, said that was okay.
Not the best kick from Australia this time. Here comes Wellens on the counter. Can't get around Brent Tate. Concussed last week against the New Zealanders, but fit to take his place in this side tonight.
Important that England get over the halfway line. They've got to start controlling the position on the field of play. And you can only do that when you're in the opponent's half. You've got to make sure that you've got to get into the last kick, that you apply that pressure. Good kick and chase. Not right down the throat of Billy Slater on the one occasion that we've had already.
Here is Morley. Well known, of course, to Ricky Stewart. Won an NRL premiership under Ricky Stewart with the Roosters earlier in the century as Burrow hoists a high kick that almost brushed the roof. The ball bounces off an England jersey, and it's a penalty because they were all inside the 10, says referee Tony Archer.
To be fair to the official, he was very quick on that. He was shouting at the English players, and you could see there were 2 or 3. He really should have peeled away.
England need some inspiration here, Eddie. They need a lift. They look flat. Obviously, the Australians have had the majority of possession, which is why they do look a little tired. But they need somebody to come up with a big hit here. Dominate your opponent and lift your teammates.
Gareth Ellis trying to come up with exactly that on the run from Petro Sivanasiva. Cameron Smith waiting at dummy half.
Oh, he lost that.
Not seen. Stephen Price here for the green and gold.
Well, Sivanasiva definitely lost control of that ball. Got away with it.
It's Smith again to Lockyer. Running flat, gets the ball away to Slater. Slater then gives it to Inglis. Inglis is a massive presence. Inglis gets the second try. Greg Inglis with the second try for Australia. It's 10-0 here in Melbourne. And things going from bad to worse. Inglis, he is such a size. He is such a presence on the field. And it's Billy Slater of Melbourne and Greg Inglis of Melbourne. They've scored on home turf, but he definitely lost that.
That should have been a scrum down, but they've got away with it. But look at the run from Lockyer. You see how he commits the man to him. Kevin Sinfield had to do that, but that is not the best defence you'll see by the English tonight. That was very poor indeed. You can see there that Sinfield was left out all on his own. And soon as Martin Gleeson committed himself, this big fella was on his way to the line. Tremendous player, and every right to be happy. Ricky Stewart, the coach. Look at the size of this big fella.
And just look at his statistics as well. This is his 9th cap for his country, and that is his 9th try. And we knew all about the threat of Monaghan, Inglis, Falau and Tate before this game began. And add Billy Slater into the equation as well. Well, it is daunting for England, but they've got to stand up. They have got now to respond to this start, and they have got to fight back. Can Scott Prince add the extra two here? From the Gold Coast club, captain of the Gold Coast Titans, played State of Origin this year, recalled because Jonathan Thurston has got a shoulder injury. He's out of this World Cup match. Now Prince looks like he's never been away. It's 12-0 to the green and golds.
Well, no cobwebs to shake away from Scott Prince and Greg Inglis. Power. Look how Lockyer runs on the arc, commits the man under the defence, and soon as Gleeson dips into it, Price couldn't cover across, and Inglis straight into it. Leon Price should have been coming across a lot earlier than that. You cannot afford to allow them to get them running. And again, the man, Darren Lockyer, controlling things out there. I mentioned the fact, Eddie, that we lacked aggression against PNG. We haven't seen any. We expected fireworks. I'm afraid it's a damp squid at the moment.
We've not really got the start that England wanted, Phil.
No, because Australia have had all the possession and our defence hasn't been quite sharp enough. You know, there can be a tendency sometimes to panic in a test match. It has happened before with Great Britain in Sydney about 5 years ago, and they were blown away. That cannot happen here, and there've got to be a lot of positive self-talk. Australia start games, test matches, faster and better than England, and that has happened for 20 years or more. England need to ride through this tough patch.
It's a great kick deep into the in-goal area for England, and Wellens with a job to do. Gets it as far as Prince and Lockyer.
7 chases in green and gold. That's a different. Boyd, the Australians, that is for sure. And I agree with you, Phil. We need something to spark it, maybe a little break. But we've got to show a lot more aggression.
Here's Graham. He'll drive it up the middle. The 2008 man of steel, grimacing as he wants to get up and play the ball to Roby. He finds Price. Price goes wide, and it's Martin Gleeson. Gleeson will play the ball quickly. It's Sinfield. Sinfield gets it away.
Gone for the power play. That'll be the turnover. That is not what Tony Smith would have wanted. Total confusion out there. There should have been somebody there shouting for the football. Leon Price, Rob Burrow, Kevin Sinfield. He was short on that blind side. That ball should have been way downfield. We should have been applying the pressure to the green and gold. At the moment, we've put pressure on ourselves.
Great tackle there on Israel Folau by little Rob Burrow. And Keith Senior coming in for the kill as well. This now is Anthony Lavranchi. Roby is there. Senior is there. Burrow is there again. That's tackle number 3. They play the ball here to Cameron Smith. Here's Sivan Asiva spinning out of the tackle of Morley, but Graham was there. So too was Jamie Peacock, the England captain. Oh, and a mistake by Price. Gobbled up by Gareth Ellis.
Got to make it count now. Quick play the balls, try to get them back, but look how Australia very quick to get in the defensive line.
That's a penalty. That was a penalty. The second rower, Glenn Stewart, was hauling Mark Calderwood down. The referee now has Australia for offside.
Eddie, this is a classic example of what Australia do well. We're almost 40 minutes into this game before England have had possession and a chance to attack Australia's line. They have such a control in the opening halves of both halves of this match that it makes life difficult, and hence the reason why they've got a 12-point lead.
14 minutes gone. Can England respond here? They need it. They need a try, and Peacock will drive it forward for them. No one will be trying harder than the England captain tonight, believe me. Here is Burrow. Burrow flicks the pass. It's Morley. 10 metres away, England. Roby, Graham. Graham takes them on his own. Sinfield was on his shoulder. Roby directing operations.
We need a second phase. Utilise the dummy runners.
Roby, here is Leon Price. Price again. Talking to a couple of Australian commentators before this match, they were asking, when will Leon Price ignite in this World Cup? Tonight might be the night. Burrow flicks it back. Here is Wellens. Wellens gives it a little bit of width. Finds Sinfield. Over the top it goes. Gardner. Gardner cuts back inside. Keeping the ball alive, England. Gleeson. This is Sinfield again. Here is Graham. Graham had support from Wellens. The ball was touched by an Australian. This is going to be 6 to go, is it? No, it is. It is 6 to go because Australia have it. Was there a knock on there from Australia?
Well, it certainly appeared the ball was bouncing all over. The opportunity there was just knocked down. Good work by Graham. Good combination, kept the ball alive.
Well, the referee here wiped the tackle count down. I mean, that's probably where he's seen the knock on from Wellens. He wiped the tackle count down. I believe he thought that England were in possession. Now he's given head and feet at the scrum to Australia.
I think he's got it right. You can see that Wellens did knock on. Billy Slater was very good. He went for the arm, not the football. Golden opportunity. I reckon that throughout this game, England will only get 5 or at the most 6 glaring opportunities where we have to put points on the board.
Well, you can tick off the number 1 because that was the first. 16 minutes gone. Australia with a dream start. England a nightmare beginning to this World Cup pool match. But trying to find their feet, trying to find their form, trying to get back in this match. As Cameron Smith plays the ball inside again to Stephen Price.
Eddie, pressure on the kicker has to be better than it was last week for England. Can they get to him here on this play?
But it's from Prince to Lockyer, and Lockyer with the kick. He had all the time in the world, but they're not the first nation that he's done that to. Look at the chase here as Wellens picks up the ball. They're on him in an instant.
The biggest problem, Paul Wellens does not have the same sort of speed as Billy Slater. The Australians know that. And once again, we see Darren Lockyer taking the ball second out, not first receiver being the kicker. He's way out. He's 20 metres out. No one could get anywhere near him.
This is Roby. He goes up the middle, met by Stewart and Sivanasiva and Gallen. This is Burrow to Sinfield. Sinfield, good ball to Ellis. Bound for the NRL in the West Tigers in 2009, Gareth Ellis, desperate for a big series. Burrow, kick along the ground, and Billy Slater just, well, he waited for that, snared the ball perfectly. England up in numbers, though.
That's the difference, Eddie. Look where Australia are there from the kick and chase from England. They're already over the halfway line. They're controlling it. They are so relaxed. They don't have to panic. 12 points on the board already, and look at that advantage. They've got to get into their faces a little bit quicker than that.
Sivanasiva plays the ball here to Cameron Smith. He'll have a run. He's allowed to decide what he's going to do with the ball. Scott Prince then comes up with a mistake. Just a touch of rustiness there, maybe, from the Gold Coast Titans scrum half.
It's a good job as well. They've got the extra man out wide. See how England, they're taking 2 steps forward, then they're asking, I wonder what Australia's going to do. Can't afford to do that with this quality. Grin all over his face. They've come up with the error. Good job too.
Eddie, the possession stats are still 60-40 in Australia's favour. Hopefully that will even up to a 50-50 split, and by that time we might start to see England here now just break through a few tackles. A good run by Gareth Ellis. He's been the top tackler for England so far, and he's still carrying the ball strongly.
Oh. The ball inside was from Roby, and
Stewart
collected him. And England have got a penalty here.
I'm not so sure that Martin Gleeson knew much about it, actually. Australian crowd don't like it. England will. And it looks as though he's in a bit of pain. He got caught in the sandwich. He really got squeezed in here. Bump. Didn't miss, did they? Glenn Stewart, swinging arm. Now then, second opportunity. We've got to make it pay.
With Graham. Would do an immense amount of good for the English confidence if they get over here with Roby. And Roby,
I think he's got it
the
down.
ball is on the line there. That must be a try for James Roby. Ashley Klein is the video referee here tonight. Has James Roby got the response that England were desperate for? The ball seemed to be on the ground. It's now in the hands of video referee Ashley Klein.
I think you're right,
Eddie. Short. You let me there.
Did he get it down on that first occasion? They got plenty of numbers there. He hasn't got it down yet. He hasn't got it.
He has there.
He has there. I think this will be given. Roby has somehow got the fingertips of this. They were there in numbers. Roby goes over. I think this will be given.
5 green and gold jerseys around James Roby there. What an effort this will be if Ashley Klein gives it the green light.
I think he gets it down. His hand is moving. That has got to be a try. I think he's got the fingers or the forearm to it. Good work on the blind side. I think we'll get TRY, and for the first time we might hear this magnificent English support that have travelled to the other side of the world. Boy, do we need it.
Well, Ashley Klein is in the booth next to us, having a look at all these pictures. He has made his decision, and the video referee decision is now pending. And for England, it's great news, and he's got benefit of the doubt, James Roby, and it's just what England required.
And it all came about by Gareth Ellis. Wonderful run, 25 metres, got them over the advantage line into the opposition half, and it just was a quick play of the ball, and the man that has lifted the spirits of the England outfit is none other than James Roby. He's the most respected player playing for England tonight from the Australians. They really rate this guy. We already know what he's capable of in Super League, and he is now making his mark as he did 2 seasons ago down under. He's done it again, James Roby.
First try of the World Cup, man of the match against Papua New Guinea last week. Just what the doctor ordered, Phil.
Eddie, that isn't what you would describe as a spectacular try, but it is absolutely brilliant. To score against an Australian side on their own line like that with such a simple play takes a tremendous amount of courage. Can he squeeze that one in?
Just the wrong side of the posts. But England are on the board, courtesy of James Roby of St Helens in England.
You've got to take your opportunity, and it'll be surprising for the Australian coach Ricky Stewart when you've got 6 men. They're all in there, 2, 3, 4, 5, they come in, help. Not enough, fellas.
Eddie, Australians' weakest defender is Darren Lockyer. He's probably the most skillful player with ball in hand, but James Roby's identified a chink there in the green line and managed to get through it.
England on the board, and they will be encouraged by that. Only the second time that they have threatened the Australians' line, and they come up with their first try.
And it also said, Eddie, by the fact that Gareth Ellis could play the ball, a lot more aggression, forced himself into the defensive line, broke the way through.
Now here's Leon Price, been in sensational form in Super League this year. Roby with the scampering run from dummy half, the try scorer, gets the ball away on the deck, finds Paul Wellens. Paul Wellens, though, is clattered by English, not completed the tackle. Wellens keeps going and goes again and gets the ball away to Sinfield. This is much better from England. They've suddenly woken up. That's the 4th tackle this set of 6 gone. Roby finds Graham, and Graham is tackled on the last. Now let's see just how good this English kick is. Rob Burrow, crossfield and behind the defenders. Slater is able to pick up underneath his own post. The chase, not bad. And England, oh, the ball has come free.
Oh, good job that Scott Prince was there. He was just taking it steadily, coming back, and then it just dropped out, popped onto the ground. Important now, don't allow the green and gold to get anywhere near the halfway line.
Let's go down to Bill on the sideline. News of Martin Gleeson.
Yeah, Eddie, we saw him pick up a knock when he was the victim of that high tackle. It was the knee injury that he came out with. Well, he is moving a bit more easily, but he's still not 100% by the look of things. Physio's been on, thumbs up have been given to the bench, but he's probably going to need a little bit longer out there to ensure that he is okay.
Australia in possession here, and this is the first touch for Brent Kite, who, as you've seen, is just on for Petro Sivanasiva. That's the last tackle. They're only just over halfway here, Australia. Okay. Smith will drift the ball along the ground in between Wellens and Gardner. Gardner will take the pass from Wellens. Good work. Smith is there to complete the tackle.
Good work from Gardner as well. Tony Smith realises that they've got to help Paul Wellens. We keep saying the fact that he's not fast. Get the wingers down there and help. Sivanasiva taking a rest on the sidelines. It's been fast, it's been rugged. Could have been a penalty.
Should have been a penalty. Gleeson thought so as well. And Gleeson, as you heard from Bill, is bravely carrying on despite the knock that he's taken. This is Burrow. Burrow! Oh, great little run from Burrow. Still going, and he's hauled down in the end by Brent Tate. That's got to be a penalty, it is.
Yeah, that shows you that they're under pressure.
Burrow is having a blinder.
When you get under pressure, you'll do anything to try to stop them. For several weeks now, Rob Barrow, okay, Leeds won the grand final at Old Trafford, where Barrow was taking the ball. He was the receiver, first receiver all the time. But on this occasion, you've got to do it. He's got the ability to duck underneath them all.
So here come England then on the charge. That's the first tackle. That's the Australian line that the referee is policing the Kangaroos' defence along. And this is Burrow, and a short ball here. And this is Peacock.
Keep your eye on Price. Big step off the right boot.
Roby to Price. Price then gives it to Gleeson. Gleeson steps inside, one challenge. Still going Gleeson. It takes 3 to bring Martin Gleeson down. 4 metres away from the Australian line, as Wellens is the dummy half. Back it comes on the half volley to Leon Price. Now Kevin Sinfield. And Sinfield running laterally, slides the kick in, looking for Mark Calderwood. Israel Folau is there, and he does well. He stays with the ball, the right side of the whitewash. Australia play the ball on their own line. Good work at marker by Mark Calderwood, pulling Brent Tate down.
Great stuff. That's the sort of defensive effort that you need. Good work though by Folau. Read it perfectly, the kick through. Pretty good from England. They're changing the tactic.
Oh, Gallen got that away, and it was Ellis who absolutely picked up the gift here. Now, what an opportunity for England with Roby. And here is Peacock. And Peacock so close to the line. The England captain wanted to get on with it quickly. Roby's at dummy half. They go right with Price. Pops the ball up. This is Gleeson again. England's best spell here. That try has certainly pepped them from Roby. Here he is, Graham now. Good defence required. Quick play the ball from England. Back it comes to Burrow. Burrow then finds Sinfield. Sinfield, short ball to Ellis. And Ellis releases the ball. The ball is played back off the feet of Senior, but the referee says it's a knock on, and it's a mistake.
Just tried to do far too much there to Gareth Ellis. Great defence though by the Australians. They had to be as well.
More news on Martin Gleeson, Bill.
Yeah, it's worrying for England. He's been struggling. Of course, he took that ball in the corner and was cleaned out by 3 players. He got to his feet from that, looking very, very groggy indeed, or looking in a lot of pain. He's back on his feet again. Another visit from the physio. He's still out there. Whether England can carry on with him out there, playing on one leg at the moment, that's the question.
It's a big risk. It's a big risk against this 3-quarter line, and Israel Folau gets to his feet and plays the ball to Cameron Smith. Here now once again is Brent Kite. And Fasavalu comes on for Adrian Morley.
Well, Tony Smith is having to perhaps shuffle Cerner around. Maybe Ellis will go into the centres. And that'll mean that Gareth Hawke will go into the second row. Oh, that's good.
Do you know what, Eddie? Last week, it was 75 minutes before Australia made an error in their own half of the field. That's the third already in this game. England have a chance because they're putting them under pressure. They're starting to hurt the Kangaroos with a solid defence.
This is Graham. Tupu on for Paul Gallen off the bench for Ricky Stewart. Here is Roby, tiptoeing his way through the defence.
Just came back on the inside. They had the support.
Fasavalu gets the ball back to Roby. Roby gives it to Price. Price finds Burrow. Burrow gives it short to Senior. And Senior is tackled by Folau and Tate. Burrow to Ellis. Ellis on to Price. Price asking the questions of the line, running straight at Stephen Price. Tackle is made. That was Peacock on the charge. And Peacock is held just short again. It's been all England for the last 10 minutes or so. Terrible start, but England to the pace of this match now as Sinfield drives the ball in, and Israel Folau is trapped in goal by Mark Calderwood. Goal line dropout coming up.
Intelligent play by Sinfield. Knows they're in a very good position. Knows that the Australians are a little bit shaky at the moment. Working overtime is Folau, the centre. The kick was superb, and so was Mark Calderwood. This will be a long kick downfield.
It's coming from Cameron Smith. No wind, of course, to worry about with that roof closed tightly as Roby flicks the ball infield to Graham. And he will drive it in once again, James Graham. Roby once more.
That was a poor dropout, Eddie. It's allowed England a good position.
Senior plays the ball to Roby. Roby gives it to Leon Price. Oh, the tackle is missed. It's managed to be plucked out of the air by Peacock. I think Australia thought that was a knock-on coming, but Peacock had other ideas.
What an effort from the skipper. He's working overtime, that's for sure.
Roby to Burrow. Burrow on the charge is Gareth Hock. And Hock is just held up short.
Just couldn't spin around. Beautiful offload.
Roby against short ball. Fasivalu, is it? Fasivalu just held up short. Ball played quickly. Burrow, flat pass, not the best. Leon Price picks it up. They go wide, they go further wide to Gardner. Gardner stabs the kick in. Slater to the rescue.
Credit where credit's due. Australia's defence there was very impressive. They sent Gareth Hock charging at Darren Lockyer. Somehow they managed to prevent him from getting over the line. And then Slater's awareness to position himself over on the far side when the kick went through.
This is where discipline has to come into the English side now. Concentrate, don't give away a penalty.
Cameron Smith. Well, the Australians are asking everybody to move around, come in off the wing and take a bit of weight off the forwards. That was a take there. And if you need to catch up, by the way, with anything about the Rugby League World Cup in 2008, there is the website. That's the address, www.rlwc08.com. All sorts of information on there for you. And the information we have here is that Tony Archer has given Australia a penalty.
Offside, trying to get out of the blocks a little bit too early. I mentioned you've got to concentrate. The 4 or 5 went in front. It was trying to allow the advantage. He applied the pressure, and now it's England's turn to defend.
And the run from Josh Perry, 3-all the penalty count, by the way. Cameron Smith 20 metres away, plays the ball, or receives the play the ball. This is Lanfranchi, and Lanfranchi is halted by Maori Fasivalu. Cameron Smith, there's Scott Prince. Scott Prince short ball, they put it down again, Australia. Wellens will pick up.
That was a forced error. They got into their faces on that occasion.
Ricky Stewart in the centre of your screen there, the Australian coach. Great respect for the British game. He played in 2 titanic series against Great Britain in 1990 and 1994. The possession has equalled itself up. It's 50-50 now. It was overwhelmingly in Australia's favour, Phil, in the opening minutes. You call for 50-50. They've got it.
Yeah, now can they build here? You know, if you want to win an international match against Australia, you need players to come off the bench and make a difference. Fasivalu's the one who's come off the bench and come up with an error. I'm also looking for Gareth Hock here to have an impact in the next 10 minutes of this game. Costly error here for England. Mistakes inside your own half are killers at this level.
Well, they are when it's Australia you're playing. There is no doubt about that. They are the past masters at just turning those mistakes into points. And Tony Smith, Steve McNamara, watching on from on high here at the Telstra Dome.
Well, it was a shaky start, Eddie, but he'll be a lot more happy with the effort from his boys at the moment.
Well, the first 13 minutes was disastrous, really, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
They've got into the swing of things now, though, England, and this is a big set of 6 for them. If they can defend this without conceding anything after the mistake by Maori Fasivalu, they'll take great heart from that. 3 tackles gone this set of 6. They're 12 metres away from the English line. With Cameron Smith, pass the ball to Prince. Here's Lockyer, just drifts in and out of the game so much. Gets the ball away to Glenn Stewart. He's tackled. That's tackle number 4. Slater the dummy half. Run here from Scott Prince. He goes to ground. Fasivalu gets to him. That's the last one. Bang in front of the English post here. 12 metres out. Smith and Lockyer being allowed to run. He finds Slater. They go wide. It's Inglis. Oh, Inglis again for Australia.
He's ghosted in.
And I think the referee is handing it up to Ashley Klein once again to check for obstruction against an England defender. But as you can see, Greg Inglis, he is celebrating what he believes is a legal 4-point try.
Talk about the speed. Was there obstruction? Lockyer again through the dummy. You could see Gleeson. Well, he was certainly contacted, was Gleeson.
I think if we're honest, Gleeson probably took the wrong option, didn't he?
They were outnumbered.
They got the overlap in the end. But the speed of Inglis when he gets right the way through. Boom.
Well, he ran into him, there's no doubt about it. Glenn Stewart made contact with Gleeson, but...
Glenn Stewart certainly went for him.
They're looking at
That's
the
a try.
touchdowns.
That's a try. There's no doubt about it. And that is sheer speed. Sheer speed and confidence. He's rated as the best in the world, Greg Inglis.
We
And
could have
this
done
is,
with that corner flag leaning in.
this is the reason
Yes.
why. Oh, he's nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. This will be given. Fingertip. A lot of the English fans are saying that he's lost control, but I think this will be given. There's no doubt in my mind. I'd like to say it's the opposite. Well, they're trying to see whether there's any daylight between them, but I think there's fingertip on that.
I think it's a great try. Great athleticism. He had to score in that manner, Eddie, because of the two players coming from the inside.
He couldn't dive over. He had to reach with the left hand. This will be given, I feel.
Just overwhelmed by weight of numbers there, the England defence. But Inglis and
But what
all
about
this
the
crowd
speed?
here waiting for the decision.
What about the speed? Unbelievable. Bang! Straight into it.
Jimmy Peacock anxiously watching on, and the try is given to Greg Inglis. A little, almost a shrug of the shoulders there. It was the inevitable decision, really. I think the 12-point advantage is restored. Inglis with his second try of the night here at the Telstra Dome in Melbourne.
He's a talent that there is little doubt.
He got a try against Britain in Sydney in the 2006 Tri-Nations victory for Britain, 23-12. He was the star of this year's State of Origin down here. And he got 17 tries for Melbourne in 2008. He's their top try scorer, and he is indicating here. Scott Prince has been impeccable with the boot so far. This is his biggest test. Way out on the touchline, far side. It's the angle he's got. This is a magnificent stadium, isn't it? Just look at it. It's a little bit like Millennium Stadium, Cardiff, but slightly smaller. Prince with the conversion, and he's missed with that. 16-4.
It's a 2-point relief as well. The one thing that England did not want to do was to concede a try just before the half-time break after a shaky start. But again, that man Lockyer, the way that he utilises the dummy runner, and that had to be scored, it needs someone with special skills to be able to do this. A lot of wingers would have just tried to use their brute force, dive over, but he knew that the cover defence was coming at him. Leaped over, left hand. But he's the man, he's the engineer, Darren Lockyer.
No question about that.
No question, but I tell you what, I think England are the ones who need to be talking about striking. Leon Price has actually left the field here now and going straight to the change rooms. Danny Maguire's the man who comes on to replace him. And Maguire, I thought, was dangerous last week against PNG. Can he get his hands on the ball in some good position?
I wonder if Bill's got any news on Leon Price for us.
It's a bit of a mystery, Eddie, although he did appear to be holding his side as he went down the tunnel. The team doctor, Professor Chris Brooks, went with him straight to the dressing room. So Maguire on, Gleeson's still out there, but certainly not functioning at 100%, so the problem's piling up for England just now.
Last 5 minutes of this first half, and Australia with a 16-4 lead. They're not out of sight, there's no question about that. That's a great kick. That's a tremendous kick, and it just runs over the dead ball line. He took the gamble then.
He certainly did.
Well, the referee says it's a goal line dropout here.
No, he's got that wrong.
He says it was touched by an English hand.
John Wilkin did put pressure on the kicker, Eddie.
Well, Wellens, if he'd have known this, he would definitely have picked
He would have
this
picked
ball
it up. Pretty hard to...
Inside. Well, we need the snick microphone, don't we, that they have in cricket.
Well, to be fair to the official, Tony Archer, he was screaming. He was screaming out, but it's pretty hard to hear the official.
It's pretty hard to hear the snick as well, but he's convinced, Tony Archer, so a goal line dropout that England have to defend against here as the run comes in from Josh Perry. But there's no doubt about it, if Wellens would have known that that had been touched in flight, he'd have definitely picked it up.
Of course he would.
He thought he was coming back to the 20-metre line. As it is, England are defending this third tackle of this set of 6 for Australia on their own 20-metre line, and the drive in here from Anthony Tupou gets the ball away, and it is to the substitute Perry again, and he makes more ground towards the English posts. This is a vital set of 6 for English hopes. Here is Prince, back it comes to Slater. Slater is hauled down by John Wilkin. It's Lockyer now. Lockyer then gets the ball away. You can't let them run. You cannot let them run. And Lafranchi comes up with a try. England held back in defence, allowed Lafranchi to get up ahead of steam. And you cannot let Australia run 5 metres away from your own line. Ricky Stewart's men in control of the Test match again, in control of this World Cup tie again. And the half is ending like it started.
It's been a problem through England throughout this first half. They're hanging back instead of getting across there. He was allowed a simple run towards the line. No two ways about it. You can see that John Wilkin, he committed himself, so therefore they're down to 12 in that one line of defence. And this was a good finish. Sheer upper body strength. Ricky Stewart.
Well,
Every right
he'd be
to feel
delighted,
pleased.
Steve. But what about the decision from the referee to give? I mean, who knows if it was touched in flight by the British hand?
Pedantic,
Absolutely.
to say the least,
Absolutely.
because it was so unfortunate. I'm with you. Paul Wellens would have picked up that ball, gone into it. But we keep talking about taking your opportunity, Eddie. The Australians are doing that. We've done it once. Roby's taken the opportunity. But the green and gold, they're running hot.
Well, the Aussies don't need 2 invitations. That's for sure. Scott Prince. Gold Coast Titans. Queensland State of Origin. Australian Test scrum half. Australian goal kicker. And the Aussies have a commanding lead as we approach half-time. 22 points to 4.
Well, 2 tries in the space of 8 minutes is pretty difficult for any side to muster and to pull yourself back at the half-time break. At 22-4, they must be feeling very, very confident. Mainly not to the fact of the scoreboard, Eddie, but the defence is not moving up as a unit. You said it, you can't hang back against any side, especially not the world champions, Australia.
Inside the last minute of this first half, it'll be fascinating to get the boys' opinion back in the studio in London about that decision from Tony Archer. And also, I wonder if there's a camera shot that we haven't seen here tonight that would tell us just how much of a shout Tony Archer was giving to the England defence, and in particular Paul Wellens, because he would never have let that ball go over the line had he known that it was touched in flight, for goodness sake.
To be fair to the official, he was shouting, but he was about 35 metres away, and in this stadium here, where you can hardly hear a thing apart from the crowd shouting.
Eddie, James Graham's played the entire full 40 minutes, which is very rare for a front row forward in any game, never mind a Test match of this intensity. He's probably out on his feet, and he'll need a rest every single second he can get at half-time.
Senior gets the ball away to Roby.
To be fair, though, apart from Roby and the odd occasion from Rob Barrow, we really have not seen anybody take control in the red and white jumper.
So there we are, that's the half-time siren, and next tackle, this World Cup pool game will stop, but the Australians are looking to turn this territorial advantage into yet more points, and Graham says, I've had enough, and he just humps the ball out of the field of play, and no wonder. Well, it started badly, but brilliantly for Ricky Stewart and these green and golds. Slater and Inglis with the try. Inglis followed that up. Lafranchi